Hey everyone, it's Nick from Nick's Crossing. Welcome to the layout room for today's first review on the new platform. So here we go, all aboard. All right everyone, in today's review we're going to be looking at two saddle tank locomotives, 060 switchers, Docksiders, so many different names. Seeing a lot of these 060 switchers out there, and now Lionel is throwing a legacy system into these beautiful locomotives and just making them so much cooler than they were when I was a kid. Now we do have a second 060 locomotive we'll be running and looking at as well, and that is this right here. A lot of you guys are fans of Beth Steel. There she is, Bethlehem Steel, number 72. There's the front, and there's the tramp stamp in the rear. It says Bethlehem. So these engines are really cool. I believe the Bethlehem Steel engine is a little bit older. We can look that up really quick. That is from 2005, Volume 2, Lionel catalog. And the Lionel 060 number 1 is actually a little bit newer, just by a hair, and that is from the 2009 Ready to Run series catalog. So they're both getting up in years, but they both run real nice. Now, the Bethlehem Steel was actually gifted to me, and when I received it, it was missing a rear coupler. Like someone dropped it or something, and there's other pieces missing, so we have some natural weathering on that one. We'll have to kind of ignore that and pull it, I guess, hammerhead style. But the Lionel Lines number 1 is pristine. I took care of this engine. It's like a baby to me. So, yeah. So that one's fully operational. Nothing's wrong with it. So, let's get into some history, and then we'll get into the review on trackside. All right, guys, because Lionel Lines is not a real road name. Up here, it's a real road name. Out the window, out in the real world, it is not a real road name. So we're going by the research for the Bethlehem Steel number 72. Now, I looked up on steamlocomotive.com, and you can pretty much research any steam locomotive in, I believe, the US and Canada. It'll show up on their list if it's on display, stored, demolished. One of them actually saw flooded, and one other one, I believe it said, sank. Thought that was hilarious, and that was for a river railroad as well. But anyways, I did a Control F find because there's so many different saddle tanks on their database, and found a Bethlehem Steel, which is on display. Thank God it's on display at the Tandoor Palace restaurant in Tannersville, Pennsylvania, and it was a Baldwin. So we're going to go with that, that the Bethlehem Steel that we have today on the tracks is a Baldwin. But there are many other manufacturers of the 060, such as HK Porter, Alco, W, and LE. Another HK Porter, Baldwin, Alco, TRRA. So just so many different names that built these locomotives. Now, you guys know probably the most famous 060 of all time, Thomas the Tank Engine, was also an HK Porter rebuilt up at Strasbourg, which is really cool, which is also listed in the database here. So when I bought this locomotive many years ago, a lot of people are saying Docksider, and I know K-Line was still making their Docksider sets with the Ork Tipple cars. It's a really nice set, but that was an 040 B&O, and inside the box, I believe it gave you a little bit of history. So the Docksiders ran on docks, surprise. They're lightweight switcher locomotives meant to haul and move and shuffle cars around on the docks because they're very narrow, very short, and they're lightweight. So that's their main use, just utilitarian piece. They're not hauling like super passenger trains here, but they're just really, really cool. Now tomorrow, when this video comes out, it'll be that day, but tomorrow I'll be riding behind an 060, Baldwin number 26, up at Steamtown, which is way up that way. And that engine is just a really, really cool piece. And eventually you would start to see 060 switchers in the United States, also known as USRA switchers. I believe that's what they are. The USRA 060 switcher, and they were built by Alco. They built a ton of them, 255 according to my research. So there are a lot of 060s out there, but these are saddle tanks. So let's go trackside, take a look at these beautiful locomotives. All right, guys, so here is the Lionel Lines number 1 saddle tank locomotive. And I keep on saying saddle tank because there is no tender with this locomotive. The saddle tank literally starts over here where the screwdriver's at and follows the, I guess the contour, you could say, of the boiler. So this is really a very efficient design because in Europe, a lot of their early steam engines would have the water supply next to or near the boiler. It's a very early primitive design. And it was really to keep the water warm and also add weight to the locomotive for efficiency. and traction because these are lightweight locomotives. But I remember doing lots of steam research projects back in college, and they were saying that in England for sure, they would keep the water source so it wouldn't enter the boiler cold. So it's a very primitive European design that worked very well. Even though this locomotive is extremely simple and runs on conventional only, it is still loaded with all kinds of features, especially from right out of the box. You can feel the weight of this thing. It is all die cast, so everything up top here, all of this is die cast into a mold. It is very heavy, has a maintenance-free motor according to Lionel's website, front and rear operating couplers, die cast trucks, die cast pilots, all metal gears, all metal wheels. It is just a beast. And later in this video, I'd like to see how many cars this little guy will pull. Now, if we get into the front here, operating little LED headlight, chuffing smoke unit, and my favorite feature, a swivel bell. I just love that. It goes down the track, you just see it move. And we also have a separately applied whistle. And if we go to the cab here, we have a fireman on hand. Where is he? Here you go, trying to hide from us. There's a fireman right there, right in the cab. And in the rear is a simulated coal load, which you guys will see. Now, if I flip this engine around, there's the simulated coal load. There's our engineer on the other side, ready to roll. Now, in the rear, this is another really cool feature. You get a directional headlight. So this is the rear light, up front is your headlight, and they both change on direction. So it's really cool. All right, guys, so here's the Beth Steel locomotive, and there are very subtle differences between them. Other than missing a rear coupler. I'll have to get that repaired eventually, but not a big priority. But I did notice all these wires in here hanging down right inside the cab. There's just a bunch of wires hanging down there. It's kind of weird. You can see them in the shot right there. And then a couple other things. They didn't do as much stamping in this frame as they did the Lionel Lines, which I can show you guys right here. Other than that, those are the only differences. So if I put her back here, just by looking at the frame, they added some more detail in here. So you can see the leaf spring, a couple more rivets in here, just some other really cool details with this locomotive. I want to see how many cars this guy can pull. So let's get her some Weaver coal cars or some other scale cars and see what we can do. Alright guys, I got Lionel Lines next to her Beth Steel's sister right here. Let's see if she can pull at least 10 cars, and I believe they're full scale. Let's see. I just don't want her to jolt. Alright, there's the chuffing smoke unit I forgot to mention. She's doing pretty good. And I also forgot to mention she has a whistle sounding horn thing, so it does say sounds on their website, but it's like a horn whistle thing. So here, I'll let you guys hear it when she comes back around. Alright guys, you know what that means. I think we need to add more cars. Alright guys, so I got kind of bored of just counting up in increments of whatever, so I just decided to put as many cars as I can until we're, kissing couplers here. So look at this. One continuous train. I gave her a little bit of a break. I put Weaver cars at the end of the train, nice and light. But I think it's 29 cars. With the engine, it's 30, I guess. But yeah, it goes around the whole 12 by 8 foot wide platform. This loop in here is 054, so yeah, she's doing some work. So let's see what she can do. Come on, you got this. Oh wow, it's actually working. Look at that. Amazing. Oh yeah, she's puffing smoke, alright. She's doing a lot of work. Yeah, guys, she's hauling. This is amazing. There's a sound car right there. It's not a light car at all. We'll let her do a couple laps. I just can't believe that little engine's doing this. Oh, need a little bit more juice. Come on. Come on. There you go. And there she is. Alright guys, that was pretty amazing. I honestly would not recommend running it too many times around. I could see the engine starting to heat up and some blue smoke coming out of there. So I may have just made that engine a great contender for an ERR reverse board. So we'll have to see how it goes. But I took the couplers off the Lionel Lines and they're now on the Beth Steel locomotive. So we can do an official run segment with the Beth Steel. I'm actually going to hook her up to some ore cars that I have laying around. They're all like late to mid-90s ore cars that actually put real coal in some of the loads. And to do that, I actually just take a shopping bag, make a liner, pour the coal in, wet the coal with some water, and then just put school glue on top, let it sit. And the reason why I do that, if your car were to topple over, it won't make a really big mess. So just some of it will fall out, hopefully. And if the rest of it falls out, it should be within a liner, so you can just pick it up and put it back in. So here we go, guys. Let's go trackside. All aboard. Alright everyone, that's going to conclude this video on these beautiful Lionel Docksider saddle tank 060 switchers. They're really cool. They have some history to them, and there's tons of them out there you can go check out. Check out the link in the description. You can check out all the Docksiders across the country and Canada. So it's just really cool to see that. I did run these with the ore cars like the K-Line sets would have come with. I had a couple K-Line cars, the big stocky ones, B&O, C&O cars, and then the caboose at the end was MTH. But anyways, if you guys are new to the channel, always consider subscribing. Love reading your comments. Love to hear if you have one of these or had one. And giving the video one of these really helps out. Until next time, everyone, happy railroading. We'll see you next time.